Hello, hello. It is the homie LA, and I was watching one of my favorite podcasts, the Wine and Weed podcast with Stilo Brim and Chris Reinecker, and they had on Sam J, and they had this conversation that is the most relevant conversation. It hits on so many different levels, and as a black man and a father and a grandfather, I believe it's something that needs to be heard. So here I am doing my part just to share. So take a listen to this.
Get your young Jeezy
What's
ass out of here.
No, not you. It wasn't you. What I said to her? Yeah, she said basically we should get over it.
But if they stopped, we would have been over it.
Yeah,
The
that's true
problem
too.
is they have not stopped. If they stop, niggas aren't bringing up slavery because we love the idea. You keep reenacting it on us in different fucking ways.
Yeah.
And thus making us keep talk about it because we're like, oh, it's like a bad boyfriend. You have to keep saying this is the root. You keep repeating the behavior just because it's not in this package, bro. Just because you fucked a bitch over here at the club and you landed on fucking this bitch because, you know what I'm saying, you met her with your homeboy and then you just fucked her. And now you think cheating through the DM is a different type of cheating. It's like, no, I got to keep bringing you back to the root. You have a behavioral pattern. And if I don't keep showing you this clearly, you're not gonna get it. So yeah, we got to keep reminding you, like, you are deviant repeatedly, so that you don't think that this is new behavior and that we're addressing something new. So like, we'll totally get over it when you stop doing it. I swear to God, as soon as white people just like cut it out, you won't hear niggas talking about it at all. Because why would we need to?
Yeah.
We're not bringing it up for the fucking get over it, niggas. Stop it.
Yeah.
That's like a nigga beating you and then being like, why are you crying?
Yeah.
It don't make sense. That's wild. She's terrible. Don't talk to her no more.
Yeah. And they just try to act like you just be bringing up getting beaten. You like, no, you're still beating me. I'm not just bringing up the beatings you did. I was the one you're doing.
The one you're doing.
It's the one you're doing
and
that
then I'm
hurts too.
referencing the old ones.
Yeah,
They're just giving you reference points for the old shit. But like, nah, it's like the shit is fully active. Like, but that's the thing. They can't tell because like they're like, well, it's not the same severity, which is like psychotic behavior, you know? They're
Yeah.
like, well, you're not in chains, so I don't understand. You know what I mean? And it's like that's a sickness, and like that's not on us. White people gotta.
And they be gaslight like a motherfucker. That shit be insane, boy. You be out
What do
here.
you mean you gotta huddle? Because like sometimes like I hear everything you're saying and I'm like, God damn, I'm a white person. Like, but like obviously I'm not. I hear everything you're saying. I'm not.
But y'all gotta huddle up and like really talk about it. Like,
Yeah.
the best thing I see
think you're right.
is
Yeah.
with the young people are doing it, right? When I see a young girl like literally on TikTok screaming at her mother, and her mother's like, "You, what are you saying?" And she's like, "This shit is fuck." It's like that's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
It's like. Cause I like, what can we tell you that we haven't told you? So at this point, it is annoying. It is redundant, and like I put myself on the other end. If I'm the nigga and I'm running around and I'm dogging a bitch and and I used to be a goddamn dog and I'm dogging a bitch and every day she's like, you dogging me, you dog, but the bitch don't leave. Bitch, shut up. Shut up. You're getting annoying now. We get it. What, are you gonna go or are you gonna stay? Cause I'm gonna keep being a dog. Like that's what I'm on. So what are you doing? So on the flip, I get how it's like, all right, well, what the fuck do you want me to do? But it's like, that's because we can't solve it. Like, y'all have to fix that and have to want to fix it. And then y'all probably, and that's a reach because literally fixing it takes away all your fucking privilege. Fixing it strips you of everything that's made you feel special. And I think white people really need to realize that. Like, you have created a world where you feel special for no reason. For nothing, for doing nothing, for achieving nothing, for being nothing. You have created a world where a motherfucker is born and they're like, I'm important. And they don't live in this world that we all live in, which is like, nobody fucking matters because we're all here. And you're gonna have to take that away from yourself voluntarily in order to level this out. Or niggas, we gotta huddle up and figure out our own shit. But it can't be a collective. We can't figure it out with you. It's like, it's a bad relationship. You can't, you have to fucking do this and figure out yourself. It's like, there's no way to figure it out with you.
You think we should just move to Africa?
I've been saying that.
I've been saying that too. I've been saying, what are we
The
doing?
worst thing we did was stay here.
Yeah.
We should have just.
As
got
soon as
out.
niggas was like, y'all could go, we should have been like,
left.
let's invent a
We
plane.
shoulda left.
We
shoulda
should have
left.
invented the plane, nigga.
This was the worst decision
Mm-hmm.
because there is no true way, in my opinion, to get to. It's like enough niggas have to die out for it to just stop happening. But then you have to. Then you have to
And
hope.
I mean, I think if you raise the right type of white people, that
But-
isn't happening.
but y'all are
I want you to
raising
say it one
them.
more time, Chris. Hear yourself.
But y'all
do you
are
mean?
raising them.
Raise
so you,
the right
you
type
don't
of
even
white
you don't even know how to
I mean, if
do
we're
it.
white people, like as a white person, I'm like, and who agrees with what you do, I go like, what the fuck can I do? I think you're right that in time you can get those people who try to talk to their parents about those things, and maybe the parents will never get it and they'll die off. But if you have more of those kids,
But
then that could spread. Or like, what do those kids do in the race world? Do they shoot their dads?
I mean, it might spread, right? But it's like, what's happening to black people in the interim? In the interim, we're waiting, right? We're in a position of just full on waiting for you to not be bad to us. That is not a good position for any group of people. So it's like, and also you have to think that each step forward, you're going to get some steps back, right? As many white people that are going to raise their kids to not be pieces of shit, there's still white people out here who are going to raise their kids to be pieces of shit, right? And those kids are going to get to positions of power. Those kids are going to get to make policy. Those kids are going to get to determine things. So you're asking, I'm not saying you're asking this, but it's like, so a group of people, in order to really just stay here, we're going to have to just be under your whim, right? At your whimsy, at what you decide, when you decide to be good to us, when you decide not to. Which is like no fucking person can consistently thrive under those type of conditions where you get to decide, and you get to decide on how, in the essence of when it's convenient for you as well, right? So it's like we can't bank on that. We can't bank that just eventually enough, because what happens is shit like what happened this summer. While we're waiting for eventually enough, everything gets turned back 20 steps and black men are being strangled out in the streets in public. And it's like, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, now we're back here. We thought we got y'all past that shit, or at least if it happened, we thought we got y'all to a place where we could collectively agree that's bad.
Nah,
I don't even think people get how gross that is for black people. It's like, it's terrible that it happened, but it is insulting that we're not at a place where we can agree as a group. No.
Oh, no.
We're not at a place where we can agree as a group. A black child is a child. We're not in a place where we can agree as a group. You shouldn't lock a Mexican kid or, a Guatemalan kid in a fucking cage. And like, that's not us. That's y'all.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with people of color. And that has everything to do with that you guys are still sitting up here deciding who's a fucking human being and deciding when they get to be one. And that is problematic and a level of power that I don't know how you combat if the person with the power doesn't want to combat it.
Or unless the next generation of people want to combat it, or you get people.
But it's never generational. It's never like the whole group. So how do you do that?
I think I'm when we vote for president and I see 47 million people voted for Donald Trump, or 74 million people voted for 72. That was very surprising to me, and I don't understand it, and I don't really. I guess those people don't fucking care, and they live in their own lives, and exactly they feel like, they do feel special like that, and they are like, and the way that I look at the world is self-interested.
And the way they look
America.
the way they look at us, though, I was gonna say this earlier, is that like
sucks.
we live in a bubble. In these cities, we live in bubbles. We live in fucking bubbles where we legitimately believe we'll go down the street for whatever reason. We think this is research and see like Biden Harris signs and see stuff and be like, maybe the world is going to be a better place. Maybe everybody does want to see Donald Trump out of here. It's like, no, motherfucker, you're not in the middle of America. You're not where all these other motherfuckers are, and they're pissed. I told you, I said this last week, I said it again. Somebody left a comment under my post. I put this Biden-Harris thing, and I was like, hey, we did it, America. We did it. You know what I'm saying? We got out there, we voted. We showed what our voices can really do. But a lot of black people, you know, you got out there and voted. Cool, boom. Somebody left a comment that said, you do realize 72 million Americans are mad about this, right? And it was the simplest comment, but I was like, whoa, 72 million people believe y'all got it wrong. Y'all got it
They
wrong.
just don't give.
Bro, they still reenact the Civil
I-
War
I-
in the
I-
South
I
and
know.
act like they won.
Yeah.
They don't like motherfucker. Like there is definitely a group of people who don't want this and don't want.
It's a Quentin Tarantino film.
Bro, and that's like just the reality. And those people, because of white privilege, get to make policy and get to decide things and get to do shit, and will always, to some degree, get to do shit. Like it's like you have to accept that you brought a group of people here as a commodity and as a workforce and as a tool as much as a fucking table. You know what I mean? That's the facts. That's how we were looked at. That's how we felt. And that's what we're fighting against. The idea that we're not a fucking table still. Just the idea that we're a life that is alive and should be valued on that level. But how do you do that? How do you convince people that we're creating their own utopia?
I think there's a big amount of people that like don't even look, like you said, don't recognize that. Like they still fly Confederate flags. They don't recognize it's not illegal. We were talking about on the podcast last year to fly the Confederate flag. And like while it's like freedom of speech, that's good. At the same time, it's like, why can't we all agree that that was bad, that was wrong? There's like never really there isn't really a full huddle up. Well, I don't think I was raised in white society of people who are like, people are like, of course, slavery was wrong. But there's also this vibe of like, and let's not talk about it anymore. And it was a long time ago. And then you see Martin Luther King was a long time ago. Martin Luther King was not a long time ago.
Bro, it's mind blowing when you go through pictures of Dr. King and realize
but white people want to ignore
black
that.
and white him.
Like they want to go like, let's go from now. And that's like, there needs to be the huddle up of white people need to like recognize that it happened. And like
white people need to recognize that they have gained great advantages from it, and that y'all are not fucking special. You didn't do this special thing and build this great country on your fucking own, and you're not fucking that cool, and you're just not that fucking great. And
I think everybody's
you had to do that on the back of people.
Special. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying there's this idea that you guys built a utopia.
No, I believe
you guys did something grand, and white people take a lot of pride in that. They take a lot of pride in that identity of what America is and what we did and what the forefathers did and what happened. And it's like, what you did was steal a land, capture people, and then use another group of people to cultivate it and make it good. And like, I guess you're a great strategist.
Yes, and that's what I think. And you can say, yeah, we agree that it's crazy that we can't get people to acknowledge that these things are wrong and they're bad. But I think that a lot of white people truly believe we won. We won that. We stole that. We won that fair and square. Like they wear that as a badge of like, don't be mad.
We out strategized.
We out strategized, you guys.
Did.
You're mad. Oh yeah, it was wrong if you want to say that's the game, but
like if
it's the game though.
And I know I don't not respect that. Like I don't not hear it. Right?
I always say the same thing.
I don't not respect it, and I don't not get it. And that's when I go and I'm at black people and I'm like, okay, so like, what are we gonna do? Because I think the biggest issue that we have that
I gotta kill him next episode, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
you
for
should
sure.
really stop talking to him.
Yeah.
But the biggest issue that we have
no, this is good. I promise.
That we don't acknowledge, I think, is that like our situation is just truly unique, and I don't think anybody acknowledges that. I don't think Asian people acknowledge that in the way that they look down on us. I don't think African people acknowledge that in the way that they look down on us. Caribbean people, all these people just go like, what's wrong with black people in America? Why can't they just figure it out? Why can't they just come together? Jewish people, all these people, not just white people. And it's like, well, here's something that's particularly unique about our situation. this is our only home.
Mm-hmm.
We are not African. We are not Asian. We don't have any place else to fucking go, nor do we have a nation. And I don't think people think how big of a deal that is. A nation backing us and a nation backing our interests. Sure, you can be Asian over here, but there's a fucking nation behind you and people know that. You can be Jewish over here, but fucking Israel's behind you and people fucking know that. Right? Every other group we're talking about has a seat at the UN, at the grand stage, the smallest fucking African fucking nation, at the grand stage. At least someone is advocating for them, even if no one's fucking truly listening.
Mm-hmm.
Who is advocating for black people? For black people, white people. That's who. That's who's sitting at the UN. And we're just standing and go like, hey, when you ask for your shit, can you also maybe tell them like about the shit that I need? Which is like, what the fuck is that gonna happen?
Yeah, but I heard you, nigga. Yes, nigga, I heard you.
Right. So
nigga, I forgot to ask you.
We don't have that. We don't have that. We don't have down to even Native Americans at least have more of their own shit than we do. And there is something about that. There is something about the relationship between black and white people where you don't want us to have that. You clearly were okay with giving it to Native Americans. You refuse to fucking give it to us for whatever reason. There's something there, and that shit impacts a people because we are completely dependent on y'all. At the end of the day, we're dependent on y'all and what you decide and what you want.
They're afraid.
And then we're just waiting for the trickle down of that. And there is no true advocacy. And the only advocacy we have for ourselves is in this nation and through this process, which is fucking corrupt. And you created to benefit you.
Yep.
And then it's like, well, why can't y'all figure it out? What the fuck?
Nigga, you know exactly
what.
What
are we supposed to fucking do besides either kill you or get the fuck away from you? Like, really, what's left? It just doesn't, like, how? What else can we do? And y'all like, we'll just keep trying to get along until we get better? What kind of fucking option is that?
It's been the same thing since day one. They've acted out of fear. It's oh, we're gonna let black people go, and we're afraid they're gonna kill us. Didn't happen, and they continue to act out of fear of what may come. Right, with black people, they're like, oh, this thing may happen. This thing may happen. With black people, it's never happened. It's not gonna happen. And they treat us as such in this country. It's like, oh, well, we have to keep them. You know, I don't know if I can actually say this. Let me. I don't want to use this analogy, but like, Nike owns Jordan. Nike doesn't allow Jordan to sell a certain amount of sneakers throughout a year because they don't want to give Jordan too much power. They're like, hey, we're gonna give Jordan just a little, and enough to grow the company at the right pace. Whether it be worth $3 billion or $4 billion, but we're not gonna grow it too fast and mess it up for ourselves, where this company can become worth more than us. And I think that's what white people do with us. And they're like, "Hey, we understand this company of black people is a money machine, and we also know that if we were to even the playing fields, they're already somehow still thriving without. If we were to do that, we're afraid that they may actually take over." That's our fear. We founded this land, quote unquote. We did this thing. If we allow the playing fields to be even and equal, it's over. It's not ours no more.
100%. But that's why we have to realize that we're not Americans and we have to stop playing with them.
Yep.
Because if they felt like we were truly Americans, that would not be a fear. Because they would go, this is just all American interests. And so what does it matter what American is in charge? What does it matter? Being American is being
real.
white. And so, like, at the end of the day, we're not American. This is not for us. We're not a part of this. Anything you allow us to be a part of this is at your discretion. And it's as much as you would like us to be or as much as you would not. So we are fucking guests. That is not someone that lives here. That is a fucking guest. And that is what we are. And I will always be an advocate of black people finding a home. And I don't think we'll
putting the
be able
contract
to
on the table?
And I think
without a home.
Who's putting the contract on the table for us?
What's connected most about everything you've said to me is the idea that you don't have anybody representing you and working collectively. Like, who in Congress represents black people? You represent your district. You don't represent a group of. I just love the way you described that, and it kind of like definitely changed my perspective on why isn't there somebody, everything you said, representing a collective black thought, that's
because
very true.
You've brainwashed us into thinking we're Americans. So we don't need that. Right? And the Black Panthers understood that we needed that.
And the system is against
so
that
we understood
existing.
that we needed that. And the system is against that because that's what we need.
Yeah.
You've convinced us we're fucking Americans, and what we need to do is vote. And what we need to do is just look for representation in places where you're already making all the fucking choices. So what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Should we be country shopping right
You're
now?
already yes.
And
now that we have money,
shopping.
now that we have money,
That's
I
what I'm saying.
100% think that. Now that we're just not a destitute group of people that are just purely off of slavery, because like think about how the world works, commodity and shit. This is like white people are the first people to do slavery, any of this shit, right? It's like, okay, when we first got free, we didn't have nothing to offer no place. So of course no one wanted to take us in. What the fuck are we bringing?
Yeah.
But niggas got bread now. Don't fucking invest in
And
the
niggas
fucking NFL. Don't fucking buy fucking land. You're buying land and paying taxes in a place where you could be fucking drugged like a dog and killed. You're paying money to the people that will persecute you. For what?
You still own those things though. Like it's interesting because like you said, the NFL, we still own the NBA. Now the NBA can do whatever the fuck they want to do. They can have as many owners as they want of teams. Guess what? If black people were to make a decision right now that we are leaving and that we're country shopping and we are leaving, guess what? The NBA is no more. You can try to run that motherfucker with all white people. It ain't gonna be the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. But that's why we gotta build that mentality though. Like as us, like we should be on some shit of like, the same way these young kids are like, I'm going to a HBCU even though I'm a fucking star and I don't care. That's how we should be. We should be like, put all the bread together, bro. Because we don't have a home. This is not our fucking home. And we should be like, where can we be? Where can we be and where can we go into a country and go, this is what we bring. This is what we bring financially. This is what we bring with all the shit we have. Like, let's work together and let's like have our own shit. Because like, being under these niggas' thumb to the end of times, I don't know how that's an option.
Who trying to sign that max deal? Come on. I mean, I feel like if black people were to actually do that, to put an actual plan together and say, hey, you know what? Fuck that. We really are country shopping. I don't think there are many places that say we don't want black people.
No, we're the coolest.
Yes, we're the best.
We make all the cool shit. We do all the cool shit. We set the tone for the fucking culture. We set the rhythm for shit. The problem is we've identified with our abuser. It's the problem that we've had forever. We've identified with our abuser. We believe this is our home. We're like, where
Stockholm
we gonna
syndrome.
go?
I said
We
all
got
the time.
Stockholm like a motherfucker.
I said all the
where we
time.
gonna go? Who's this gonna be like that? This is where my family from. Like, yeah, not by fucking choice. You know, I hate when I hear shit like that. Wow, my ancestors died for this. No, they didn't fucking die for this. They died for you to be free. That's what the fuck they died. They didn't die for this country.
Yeah.
Stop saying that. No ancestor that we had died for this.
They didn't know what else was gonna happen.
They died for your freedom. They died for you to be free, whatever the fuck that looks like, wherever the fuck you can find it. That's what they died for. They died in the pursuit of freedom. Not even happiness. Not even happiness. We don't even get that. We died in the pursuit of freedom, and that freedom can happen any fucking where. But that's what they died for you to be fucking free. Not for fucking America. Not for this land. Not for this shit. No, we were brought here.
They didn't come here.
We did none of this shit, bro. Come on, man. No way.
I want you guys to also own land here. Yeah, that was all bars.
So how if there was do you want to go on into another article?
Man, shut your white ass up.
How can you possibly follow that up?
Man, shut your white ass up.
I got
You
another
lucky
question.
nigga.
So if that did happen, if you could like if you moved a whole economy and like all these black economies to another country, do you also like bring the black people?
Nigga, we not giving you all our secrets.
I just don't. I think
Yeah,
that
he thought he had us
you
again.
could, I don't know. But I'm just listening. I
Your
guess
trickery.
I can't say anything.
I'm joking. I'm sorry. I'm fucking with you. I'm joking.
I'm like, it's all a trap. It's all a trap. I can't say shit. Oh, okay. Man. Damn. I had the inclination after you made.
We just
that
talking.
America-
We just talking, Chris.
After that American
We vibe.
speech
We
to
can
say,
keep on.
well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Oh, happy Thanksgiving.
Get those turkeys.
Yeah, man.
It's wild, bro, because it's not hard. Because and that's the thing. Like, black writers been writing about that shit forever, right? Like, because I feel like I'm an American. You know, so when I say it, I don't want to be dismissive of that. Like, we've contributed to the tapestry of America and what it is and stuff. But I do feel like it's like a boyfriend, a bad boyfriend, right? Like, you feel me, shorty? Like, girls who've had boyfriends. It's like, yeah, you dressed that nigga. You gave him his style. You gave him his look. He was a bum, dirty nigga before. But at some point,
right here.
But at some point, right, you gotta go, this nigga's for the world. It don't matter. I can't keep staying with this terrible nigga because of everything I gave him, hoping for him to be a better nigga when he keeps showing me he's a bad nigga. Because now I'm not investing in myself. I'm just invested in what I did. And I'm not fighting for me. I'm just trying to prove a point. I just don't want to lose. And when you in a relationship and you stuck in that space where you're like, this is bad for me, it's unhealthy, it's gross, but I just don't want to take this L because I did too much for this nigga, those relationships don't never turn out good. Right? Well, the truth. On the flip.
Fellas.
On the flip. You feel what I'm saying? But like, either way, you absolutely right, bro. Either way, it don't never turn out right. And that's how it is with America. We just keep hoping they gonna cash out and be a good boyfriend. We just hoping one day niggas, white people just gonna be like, you know what?
I'm gonna stop doing
My
that.
bad. Like, you really did give me everything. And like, without you, I really wouldn't be shit. And y'all really wasn't. And we really wasn't really about shit unless we was together. And now, baby girl, you can sit right next to me and we gonna do this thing. And it's like, they're not gonna do that, bro. They're not gonna do that, bro.
But I agree that that's what they fucking need to do.
Nigga, you crazy, nigga.
Like, nah.
Boy, you just be saying shit.
I want white guy to be that man. But
White dudes ain't that.
I want the white dude to be that guy, but
Dog, if they ain't done it in over 1,000 years.
there's a big part of them that
almost
has
1,000
never
years.
been that guy.
I rigged the
ain't finna
game,
do it.
nigga. I'm not about to start a new one.
They ain't finna do it. So it's like, how much you want to give to this relationship that's hasn't given you nothing back?
Yeah, man. Chris, well, I'm trying to say it's our last episode, man.
So that is the end of the conversation. Well, that's not the end of the conversation, but that is a really nice chunk of the conversation. And they went a little more after that, but it was a great conversation. I believe it's a conversation that needs to be heard, and I'm glad to be able to do my part to make sure that it is. So please hit me with a like and subscribe, and I'll have more content later on. Thanks.
In act, the matter of fact, I so weed and homie, you so crack.